All right. So the secure attachment. So this is the one that we all need to be. We need to be secure. We need to know, look, I'm not going to be anxious. I'm not going to be avoidant. I'm not going to shut down. I'm not going to be all over the place in my relationship. I'm going to be secure. And I'm going to tell you one thing that helps a woman to be secure is her having a very good self-esteem. Your self-esteem and your self-confidence is one of the keys to becoming secure. So, I mean, if you lack self-esteem or you lack self-confidence, work on that in this season. So, how is secure attachment formed? They are formed when your basic needs have been met. So this is the parents who they have, taken care of their kids. They have been attuned to their emotional need, their physical need, all those needs that we had as children. Our parents were able to meet our needs. And what happens is in our adulthood, we end up having those secure and loving relationships. This is the goal. For those of you ladies that's like, I'm tired of attracting these broken, narcissistic, unavailable men. I'm tired. Your goal is to be secure. And again, it starts with building up your self-esteem, building up your self-confidence. Secure attachments. So those people, they can trust people. They're not always like, oh, I wonder what he's doing. I wonder why he didn't call back. They're not anxious. And they're not like, well, I don't want to open up to him because I don't want him to feel like I'm this and I'm that. And I don't want him to leave. Like, they're not avoidant. They could trust people and they're able to build close relationships. When you look at your life and you look at, especially in your friendship, if you feel like, you don't have a lot of close relationships, it is time for you to really start to say, wait a minute. It's not always people. Maybe it's me. Maybe I just need to stop being so, closed off, or I need to stop being so anxious and on high alert, thinking that so-and-so is going to hurt me again. And just trust. These people are also very comfortable being alone. You got to learn how to be alone. I remember I went through a season of being by myself for 3 years. And boy, I tell you, I got some of the best healing of my life. A lot of people cannot do that. But being alone helps you to work on you. It helps you to learn you, helps you to heal from you. So when you're at a point where you can be alone and you're like, listen, yes, God, I would love to have a man. It is a desire, but I'm okay alone. But I'm okay being by myself because I love being by myself. I'm not, okay, well, let me go on a dating app now. No, you just got out of a relationship and the next thing you think is to go on a dating app. No, that means you can't be alone. And so you got to work on being by yourself, being happy by yourself. Because if you're not happy by yourself, you won't be happy with no one else. It starts with you being okay alone. These people who are secure, they're able to regulate their emotions in relationships. They're able to do a lot of self-reflecting, and they're able to say, wait a minute, okay, you're acting this way because, and they're able to talk themselves through things and self-soothe. They're not all over the place in their minds and just wondering and making all these decisions. They're able to even have good conflict resolution within themselves. And that's why, ladies, you will always hear me say this as well. Journal, journal, journal. When you're in a relationship with a man and things are not going well, journal about it and put it on paper. You'll be surprised what happens when you start to journal and how different you feel. Like, wait a minute, I was overreacting. I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I did that. Because you put it on paper, you got all your thoughts out. Do you know how many thoughts we have per day? Over 70,000. That's a lot. And it's mostly negative thoughts. It's a lot of negative thoughts that come into our minds. Got to shut it down. So that's why journaling is really good, because it helps you to get everything on paper and it helps you to not react from, the emotional standpoint and to respond. I'm really big on not reacting, but responding. I want you guys to say that within the comments. Say respond and not react. This is when you have given it thoughts. You're not just like, like just speaking and being impulsive and you're just upset. That's reacting. We react out of our flesh. And that's when a lot of things happen, right? We say things we don't want to say. We say things that are not healthy or not nice, and we end up hurting people. That's reacting. But when you respond in the situation, you give it thought. Okay, you know what? He just really upset me right now. And okay, Roxy, I'm not gonna say it, because if I say it, it's gonna really hurt. It's gonna hurt his feelings, and it's not right. That's responding. You give thought to your ways. Secure individuals, they have a positive view of themselves and of others. They embrace the intimacy with others, and they're able to set healthy boundaries. And they're also able to respect your boundaries. So when you're in a relationship where you're talking to a guy and you set boundaries and he's like, nah, I'm gonna still call you anyway. That's not a good sign. He's not respecting your boundaries. A secure person is very big on respecting people's boundaries because they have their own boundaries that they set. Final thoughts. You can't change your past, ladies. We cannot change how our parents handled us and if they were not there for us 100%. And honestly, most of the time, the reason why our parents have done the things they have done is really because of their own trauma. It's because they haven't healed from their trauma. And we know back in the day, therapy was not something that was common. And so we have a lot of our parents that are walking around and they're toxic. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of parents are toxic. And so because they have to heal, they were healing through us. And so a lot of times they didn't meet our needs. So we have to get to a place of forgiving them and recognize that you didn't just do it because you were wicked. You did not protect me. You neglected me. It wasn't because you were wicked. It was because you had your own trauma that you had to deal with. And so I forgive you. And so we got to get to that place where we forgive them and we release them and say, you know what, God, I forgive my mother. I forgive my father. And I don't know who on this line right now, you may need to forgive your parents for not being the parents that they were supposed to be in whatever capacity. And there's some hurt. But go back to the inner child. I want you to go back to the little girl in you and say, God, I forgive. I forgive my mother. I forgive my father for not being there, for not giving me the wisdom I needed, for not giving me the attention. And because I didn't have that in my parents, because they were so busy with themselves, I was looking to different things to soothe me. I was looking to other people for that attention. I was looking for it in drugs and relationships and sex. And so that is what happens, is we look in all these different places. But thank God for Jesus that when we come to Christ, all those voids that we have had can be filled now. And he fills us up. But we got to first get to a place of forgiveness. And then as we forgive them, we allow God to heal the inner girl within us. The next thing is you can show up confidently within your relationships. You can. I know you may have been like, well, you know what? I don't know, Roxy, my attachment style seems to be anxious, disorganized, or avoidant. But I don't know what to do. You don't have to stay that way. You can change it. Just because that was, something that happened in your past doesn't mean that your future, you can work on it. And I've shared a lot of tips on how to heal and how to become more secure. So my question for you ladies is, which attachment style are you? I want you guys to write in the chat, which attachment style are you? Yes, ladies. So like I said, I know that you are those attachment styles. And I love the fact that you guys are willing to even show up to this masterclass, because that lets me know that you want change, that you don't want to be this way, that you want to show up confident within your relationships, that you want to get better at choosing better partners, and that you want to get better at being secure and cultivating healthy and loving relationships. Now, my second question is, which attachment style do you feel like you are most attracted to? So when you think about the patterns from your relationships, which ones have you dated the most? I recommend the first 6 months of you knowing a man, or at least the first 3 months, do not fall in love. Do not even date him. Do not put a title on it. I know you're like, that's a long time, 3 months. Yes, I'm serious. I'm telling you, ladies, if you do this, you're going to start seeing how you're going to start weeding a lot of people out. When you take your time and you're vetting, you're going to be able to start weeding people out of your life and say, nope, I know he's not for me, because the way he shuts down, he's not vulnerable. He doesn't know how to communicate. He gets angry all the time. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to know, I know me, and I know the type of man that I desire. So I know the type of man I cannot communicate with or be with. And so you got to get to that point of your dating experience where you know you so well that you're like, no, Jessica, or no, Cindy, you're not going to make it with this man. It won't be healthy. It may be fun, but it won't be a healthy and loving relationship. Healthy is being able to talk about things. Healthy is being able to say, okay, hun, we have something that came up. This is how I feel. And he's not dismissing you. He's not making you feel like you're crazy for thinking the way you think. How many guys do that? I'm sure all of us have been with men who something happens and we're like, I didn't like that. You did that, baby. He's like, what are you talking about? No, you're the one who, and they're pointing the finger, right? And it's like, don't be dismissive. And those that are the avoidant type, they're very dismissive because they don't want to face the reality. They don't want to face things. They don't want to get too close. And so you got to get to a point of your dating where in the beginning, you're seeing these signs from early on, and you're like, okay, no, I may have to put him in the friend zone, or I'm just going to have to walk away. And that is the problem. And that's why we get in these toxic relationships and stay so long, especially the anxious attachment style. You're more likely to stay in relationships longer because you fear abandonment. So you will settle. It doesn't matter what a man does. You will just continue to tolerate because you don't want to be abandoned. You don't want to feel that feeling you felt as a little girl. So yes, ladies, definitely the goal is you can, still have the insecure attachment style, but the goal is to date someone who is secure in their attachment style, and then they can help you on your journey to becoming more secure. Because what is going to happen is they're going to let you see how they are. And then you're going to be able to work on yourself through that. But I do recommend work on yourself before you even get with that person, because you don't want to drive them away either. You don't want to be too anxious. You're like, oh my God, what is he doing? And then you're driving him away because you're anxious, right? So I recommend definitely do some working on yourself too. And then, try to choose someone that's more secure in their attachment, because that's going to be better for you. Remember what I said, you cannot change what happened in your past, which is we know that within our past, our parents may not have been the best parents. They may have neglected us. They may have abandoned us. They may not have been there. Maybe we weren't able to communicate within our homes the way we were supposed to as children, express our thoughts, our emotions. And so that's how we became the way we are. It's never too late. It's never too late to change. It's never too late to heal. The time is now. And if we are going to be cultivating healthy and loving relationships, it's possible. But it starts with being intentional right in this season where you are, making your healing a priority.